Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between. Welcome back to Old Man Rambles. Um, I kind of felt compelled to make this video after the reactions I got to my Pride Month video. Um, there are a lot of comments about, hope things are better with your daughter, hope, concerns for my relationship with my daughter and how she is doing. Um, so I just wanted to follow up and say that, she came out to me several years ago. She was like a sophomore in high school, and she's since graduated college. She has a job as a teacher in a small, very small town, um, about 2.5 hour drive away from here. Both of my girls are adults. Um, my oldest daughter works in a nursing home as a med tech CNA. Youngest daughter, the one who came out and who's gay, is, like I said, a school teacher. My Since my youngest daughter came out, our oldest daughter has since said she's bisexual. I'm not sure when she found that out, but whatever. Neither here or there. But I think I thought I'd maybe talk about my history with my girls. Less of a pride thing and more of just me talking about my daughters. Um, when we just had the one, we just had the one daughter, we kind of developed movie night where every Sunday was movie night. One person would pick out like 3 or 4 movies. Our daughter would pick out 3 or 4 movies from our VHS or DVD collection, and then one of us would pick out which of those movies we would actually get to watch. The reason we instituted that policy was because after watching Aladdin 3 dozen times, you need some variety in there. But sometimes one of the kids would pick, sometimes I would pick, sometimes my wife would pick. But someone would grab a chunk of, a selection of movies, and then someone else would select which of those movies we get to pick. I'd make a giant bowl of popcorn. We'd sit and watch a movie. That was a Sunday night activity. My wife and I are both heavy readers. Different tastes in reading material, but we're both avid readers, and our kids have inherited that. With my oldest daughter, we sat on the couch and read. We'd sit side by side on the couch, hold the book open. I would read this page, she would read this page, and we took turns reading the book together. I took my oldest daughter through The Hobbit and the Lord of the Rings trilogy. We read the Harry Potter books together. We read some of the Pendragon books, some of the series of unfortunate events. I couldn't finish the series; it was too depressing. But between the years, we probably read 2 dozen books together like that, give or take. Continued that tradition with my youngest daughter. We read the Percy Jackson books. We read some of the Redwall books, some of the book series too. We also went to the movie theater together. I took my girls to all the Disney films in the theaters, all the Pixar films, other Blue Sky Studios, Sony Pictures, any kids movie that came out. Took the kids to the theater, bought a big bag of popcorn. We sat and watched a movie together. We talk about it afterwards. My girls, because of sometimes I would pick the movies that we would watch. I would occasionally try to throw my stuff in there when they got older. Star Wars, Indiana Jones, the MCU movies. The kids did eventually get interested, so we went to see the Star Wars movies together. So we went to see the MCU, Marvel Cinematic movies in the theater. When my youngest daughter was home a while back, a few months ago now, she lamented to me that's like, Dad, I miss having a movie buddy to go to the movies with, because my youngest daughter is in a long-term relationship with a person who is non-binary. We like them a lot. But they have different tastes in movies. Aaron's like, Dad, I miss having a movie buddy, because we went to the movies multiple times. Every month or so, whenever a new kids movie came out, or Marvel movie, or whatever. It's like, hey kids, you want to see a movie? And we all, even when my oldest daughter had moved out of the house and had a husband, we still went to movies together. It's like, hey, we're going. Let's go together. I think I worked I worked very hard to develop a good relationship with my kids. You know, it's a hard line to ride between being the dad and being the buddy. You know, there's a line there, and it wasn't easy to stay on that line. You know, to make sure that they know that you know, you're a fun, you know, you're fun to play with, and they can come to you with stuff and tell you things and and be a peer. You know, I'm to share stuff with you, but also that there's a line that they can't cross. That you have to be a dad sometimes. You know, you have to make sure that they do what they're supposed to do. You know, you can't just let them. You know, you gotta tell them to clean their room and do the dishes and pick up after themselves and do the, you know, teach them how to do laundry and teach them how to cook for themselves. They gotta do stuff. You gotta be the dad sometimes. You know, and it's, you know, you don't want to be only the dad because then they shut you out of a lot of their lives. But you can't be just the buddy because then they won't do things when they have to. You know, they won't listen to you when you tell them they have to do stuff. When you need to bring the hammer down, which I didn't do very often. Um, I gave my kids a lot of leeway, but they knew that when I said that leeway was over, that dad meant business. Um, and I did. You know, I played dollhouse with my oldest daughter when she had a dollhouse. I played Little's Pet Shop with my youngest daughter when she had that stuff. Although they weren't always happy with me because I don't really care about dollhouses and Little's Pet Shop. So I amused myself um, by putting the baby in the oven in the dollhouse and making the lion devour all the other little animals by, you know, when my youngest daughter wasn't looking, I would have the lion go over and pick up the zebra and then stuff the zebra in the couch cushions. And my dad was like, "Dad, where's the zebra?" "Oh, he ate him." "Dad!" So I'm trying to frustrate them at times. Um, but back to my original point, when my daughter came out, she came home from school. We talked. We talked when I tucked her into bed that night. And yes, as a teenager, I did still tuck them into bed. Both of my girls. I tucked them into bed every night as long as they lived here. Every night. Even now when they come home to visit, I make sure that I gave them a few minutes a day every day. Even if it was just that 5 minutes to tuck them into bed at night and say goodnight. How was your day? Anything happen? Love you, kiddo. So, I don't think, her coming out to me was hard. It was hard for us. It was hard to feel that she couldn't tell me to my face. But, we talked afterwards. We did. I said, it's okay. I'm sorry you didn't feel like you couldn't tell me to my face. There were things that were discussed. It was an emotional conversation. For me, I can say, I can't say as much for her. I'm sure it was for her, but I don't like to speak for other people. But it's okay. We have a good relationship. She just came home. My wife's family had a big family gathering. She came home with her girlfriend and spent the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, she was here. Before they left, we had a big Father's Day dinner. Chinese takeout. My favorite. Youngest daughter and my oldest daughter and her husband were here. I still have a good relationship with my kids. I went to all the games, went to all the music performances and plays. Even still now, my daughter is a music teacher. We still make the 2.5-hour drive to see her conduct now that she's no longer singing. We go to as much as she's like, "Dad, you don't have to drive all this way." I was like, as long as we can, we will. And we will. But again, I want to thank you guys for your comments. Thanks for expressing concern. And yeah, things are okay. We're good. Thank you. Good hunting.